Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical idea, one that's reshaping the future from the ground up, literally. And our story starts in Kenema, Sierra Leone. We're going to see how the very soil people walk on, the words they speak, and the energy they use are all part of this quiet, powerful movement. Honestly, it's a way of seeing the world that might just blow your mind. All right, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with something super tangible, a house. Then we'll kind of zoom out to understand the wild new rules of reality that this house suggests. After that, we'll look at the philosophy that's driving all this, see how language itself gets in on the action, and finally, we'll put all the pieces together to really get what an insurgency of everything actually is. So let's start our journey in Kenema, Sierra Leone. And we're not starting with people or politics or anything like that. No. We're starting with the dirt beneath their feet. We're about to uncover how everyday materials can have, well, a life and a purpose all their own. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to ask you something that sounds, well, a little crazy. Kind of house think. We tend to think of buildings as these inert, passive shelters, right? But what if a house could actively participate in its own existence? Just stick with me here, because this question is the key that unlocks everything else. So check this out. The local building material is this incredible soil called laterite. When you dig it out of the ground, it's soft, you can work with it, but the second it's exposed to the air, it starts this chemical reaction and gets harder and stronger over time. The builder isn't just forcing it into a shape, it's like they're in a partnership with the soil. They kick off the process and the soil does the rest. So here's where it gets really wild. The house does more than just stand there. In a really hot climate where electricity is scarce, these laterite walls are basically natural air conditioners. They are a thermognostic engine. Now, that's a super fancy term, I know, but just break it down. Thermo for heat and gnosis for knowledge. The wall knows how to manage heat. That knowledge isn't in a computer, it's baked right into the minerals of the earth. All right, let's switch gears for a second to another actor that we usually just ignore. You know that amazing earthy smell right after it rains? It's called petrichor. Turns out it's not just a nice smell. It's a chemical compound called geosmin, and it's released by bacteria in the soil. And get this, our noses are so ridiculously sensitive to it, we can detect it in parts per trillion. It's a high-fidelity signal coming straight from the earth to us. And this is where it all clicks into place, right? The soil is literally communicating. That smell, that geosmin, delivers information directly into our brains, and it creates a real physical effect, that feeling of delight, of joy. The soil is speaking, and it's causing a change in us without a single word being exchanged. It's another form of gnosis, of knowledge. Okay, so we've got houses that think and soil that talks. How on earth do we even make sense of that? Well, to do that, you have to throw out the old rulebook and start thinking about reality in a completely new way. This is a big one. It's called flat ontology. Basically, I want you to forget that old pyramid diagram, with humans at the top, then animals, plants, and rocks at the bottom. This model says everything exists on a level playing field. A thing is real if it causes an effect on something else. So yeah, a person is real, but so is a mud brick, a proverb, or the smell of rain, because they all cause change in the world. And this slide shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, you've got that old, rigid pyramid. But on the right, everything's on the same level. In this flat world, a solar panel or a proverb can be just as influential, just as much of an actor as you or me. They're all just nodes in this giant interconnected network, all affecting each other. So once you start seeing the world this way, with all these different actors running around, you can start to see a really unique philosophy of progress taking shape on the ground in Kenema. It's all about taking control and building your own world. This philosophy is really a cocktail of three big ideas. First, there's a joyful Afro-optimism, seeing technology as the source of incredible potential. Second, you've got Prometheanism, from the Greek myth, which is all about seizing technology, about stealing fire from the gods to re-engineer your own reality. And third, there's accelerationism, which is exactly what it sounds like. Hitting the gas to speed up change and create something totally new. And when you smash all that together, you get this new thing, the Prometheo-utopian. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is simple. It's not about waiting around for some distant utopia to happen to you. It's about grabbing the tools you have right now, whatever they are, and using them to build your own self-generating, independent world. It's about creating your own sovereignty from the bottom up. So let's see how this keeps building. We've seen how materials have agency. We've seen the philosophy of taking control. But what about something as abstract as language? Can a word also be an engine for change?
Well, in Sierra Leone, the answer is a definite yes. The language that connects almost everyone is Creole, and it's not some static, dusty language. It is a dynamic, living tool that's constantly inventing itself to solve problems, to create new ideas, and to bring people together.
Okay, check out this fantastic example. The Creole word for one of those shaky private minibuses is poda poda. Just say that out loud. Poda poda. What does it sound like to you? It already gives you a feeling for the thing it's describing, doesn't it? There's a name for this, and it's awesome. Kinetic mimesis. Kinetic for movement, mimesis for mimic. The word itself mimics the movement of the object. That repetitive, stuttering sound of poda-po, poda-poda, it perfectly captures the bumpy, rattling, stop-start journey of that unreliable bus. And this is the big leap, the point that brilliantly illustrates all of this. Language here isn't just a set of labels for things. The word becomes an active participant. It embodies the very energy of the thing it describes. The word is the motion. Okay, it's time to put all the puzzle pieces on the table. We've got the active materials, we've got the philosophy of self-generation, and we've got language that acts like an engine. Let's assemble the final picture. So if you look at a household in Kenema through this new lens, you don't just see a family in a house. You see this incredible network, an assemblage of all these different actors working together. You have linguistic objects like Creole words and even that smell of rain. You have material objects like the laterite walls, and you have energetic objects like a small solar panel or a generator. And this brings us right to the main event, verbokinetic insurgency. I know, it's another big phrase, but it just means the household's own self-reliant system, its metabolism. It's a system where words, that's the verbo, and motion, the kinetic, and materials and energy all have equal agency. They all interact and accelerate each other, creating an independent, sovereign way of life that doesn't need to rely on some centralized official system. It's a grassroots insurgency of everything. And this is probably the most important thing to take away. This isn't science fiction. It's not a prediction. The argument from the source material is that this is a description of reality as it is already unfolding. This joyful, optimistic, self-generating system is happening in the present tense. It's happening right now. Which leaves us with one last, fantastic idea, the Prometheotopian spasm. It's that moment, that joyful burst of creation, when a household takes all its unique parts, its language, its materials, its energy, and becomes its own independent system. It weaponizes its limitations and creates a sovereign state of being. And that really makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other verbokinetic insurgencies might be happening all around us if we just knew how to look.